January 31st, 2019. My pooch and I just picked up the Tesla module. We're going to put it there underneath my sit-stand desk, hydraulic sit-stand desk, in a 144-inch wheelbase Sprinter van, ready to switch over from 12 volt to 24 volt here. That rat's nest on the bottom I'll clean up after the battery install, because I have to do some cable switching once it's installed, so I need to wait for that. So I'm all ready to install it in there. I'll make another video explaining all of the components. And here I am with the Tesla module. 24 volts. I took the plastic cover off for now. I think I'm going to put it back on in case I want to resell it. Someone might want the plastic cover, but I'm going to wrap it in a fiberglass blanket for thermal and fire protection. Going to give you some really good close-ups that I have not seen anywhere else on the internet of this Tesla module. This one is a 2016 from a Model S sedan. It was actually shipped from Poland, and when I bought it, I didn't know that's where it's coming from. And the terminals take a 13 millimeter socket. I thought it was going to be Allen wrench, but it's not. It's 13 millimeter socket, positive and negative. They're not clearly marked, so I'm going to have to do that so I don't make a mistake. And it comes with the balancer cable. The seller I bought it from did this, and also made me a special 7-foot long balancer cable. Very high quality. I'm pleased with it. And the reason why I wanted a 7-foot cable is because I'm going to do alternator charging from the front cab of the van. The other charging method will be solar, so it'll be mostly solar, but sometimes, not today, there's enough sun for good enough solar, but sometimes I'm in the Redwood National Forest or somewhere like that for day after day with absolutely no sun at all. So I'm just showing you some close-ups, how it's made. Each one of these cylinders is an individual Panasonic lithium-ion battery. You can see they're cylinder shaped. There's one right there. This is what they call a mounting bracket. I think it can be removed, but I'm going to leave it on there. Seems like a really good solid plastic. I don't feel comfortable putting that plastic on there. Maybe I'll find somewhere else to put it. I don't know. Because I have the thermal blanket to protect from any kind of catastrophe up to 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Because of my usage, I'm not going to hook up cooling or heating through this tube here. Actually, cooling is what that's for. The heating blanket, electric powered, I'm not going to hook that up because since mine is going to be mounted there in the living area, it's never going to get freezing unless I store the van somewhere, which I don't plan on doing. And then going to the front cabin, I have hooked up a iCharger 406 Duo. I have an error because I was charging the 12 volt battery incorrectly, and this will be programmed for the Tesla module. It already is programmed for it. So with this, I'm going to be able to balance and charge it by way of the vehicle alternator, and the 7-foot long cable should be just perfect to reach from the front cab all the way to there, to the head of the battery. Here's the box that came in. Had sufficient, just barely sufficient protection. 2 layers of styrofoam on the ends, 1 layer top and bottom. Luckily the box was not damaged because this looks minimally packed. I mean, it's kind of like the bare minimum standard of shipping one of these, especially as far as it went. I'm lucky there's not evidence of damage. Standing it up on its edge, you can see it's 3 inches wide. That's why I'm going to wall mount it. It weighs approximately 55 pounds, so I have lots of steel straps to hold it in place. Some more close-ups of the individual batteries. I guess you would call this maybe the bottom. Maybe your own discretion what's top and bottom. I'm not sure what this little cable is for. I assume temperature monitoring, which can be done through the negative post. At this point, I don't know which side is positive and negative. I have to look at illustrations online. There's some grease there that came, and these covers can go right on top to protect shorting out during installation, which I probably should heed and put the bolt back in and the cover back on before I install, so there won't be accidental contact with any other metal objects during the install. So I should install it just like that. And this is flimsy here. Doesn't look like there's much I can do about it. Maybe I can, let's see, since actually this is going to be the top, so I will probably need to find a way to secure this, maybe with Gorilla Tape. I don't know yet. I certainly am not going to drill into the battery. I mean, I guess I could here in some of the clear plastic spot there, but I don't feel comfortable with doing that. So, oh, zip tie. I could probably fasten this somehow with zip tie in case it gets pulled on. It's not going to yank this circuit strip out and break it or something like that, or damage it. So somehow through that hole there, maybe I could get a zip tie and keep that nice and tight, so if this end gets pulled on, it's not going to cause damage over here on either end there. So just one single module for this camper van setup, and the current and voltage energy usage is not going to be all that great, so I don't have to worry about cooling it. And that goes with balancing also. I don't have to worry about balancing it too much. I do have to worry about balancing, but not nearly as much as people who use multiple packs. On my website, econito.org, there's a tab for, okay, here's the website. You want to go to Off-Grid Living, Power Systems, 24 volt EV batteries here. You will be able to see my install diagram, details of the battery, and all of the components that I recommend for the install in a camper van or tiny home RV application, as well as details about charging methods, parts, notes, top secret information only found here. Nowhere else but here, as far as a lot of the information. A lot of the information you can find other places, but a lot of it you cannot. Alright, let me know what you think of this video. What do you think of this install? Do you have any suggestions to do this differently than what I plan? I plan on starting on it today, January 31st, 2019, here in Morro Bay State Park, California. The weather's pretty nice. There's some chance of more rain today. There certainly was last night and this morning. There's the marshy bay over there and the ocean on the other side of a sand dune there. Oh, I should probably mention the install in a van on the wall. you'll need to use a really strong magnet and determine where are the metal parts in the wall, and that's where you want to fasten the straps into, because you don't want to fasten the straps just into the wooden wall. That's not going to hold up a 55-pound battery. Then down here I have two brackets that will support the weight of the battery. The reason why they're located there is because there are two runs of the metal reinforced wall going just in that location and nowhere else along here. And I put this other support here for a little bit added support. This 15-year-old blind guy has been a good trooper during this whole process. I've been working on this for a whole month. Look at this. I've been monitoring this for a whole month of the tracking from Poland being flown to the United States. Every day for the past month I've been looking at this, trying to figure out when the heck is it ever going to get here. So it's pretty crazy that the car was made in California by Tesla, then shipped to Europe, then somebody wrecked it, then someone in Poland disassembled the battery and resold it on eBay and shipped it to me from Poland back to California. Actually, it was flown from Poland to North Carolina, it seems, and then from North Carolina trucked by FedEx all the way to California. Just based on that alone, I probably would not have ordered from this seller, but since he did make me a very nice 7-foot cable, that was definitely worth waiting on. Plus, I actually did need a whole month of preparation to get ready to install this thing, because as you can see, for one person to try to figure this out, there's no exact diagram like this anywhere on the internet. There's something similar, Morrison's on the Move, etc., but not quite like this. Not exactly like this. This is all totally custom. I've never seen an install of a Tesla module in a camper van yet. And also I want to say, everything is mounted on the wall. There is nothing in layers. There's nothing that's mounted on top of something else, and nothing is on the floor. Everything will be on the wall, and that frees up a lot of storage space underneath, which is precious since I live in it full time. And this is the 20-foot long Sprinter van, and the current 12 volt is located down under there. I don't have it uncovered yet, but it is very heavy and very huge. A 270 amp hour AGM weighs 170 pounds and is taking up a lot of space. I'm going to take it back to West Marine for refund, and then I'll get a gift card for store credit.